Hey guys, what's going on? It's Gerard here, and today we're going to talk about why I don't post to YouTube often. Brought to you in part by No Name Brand Dayquil, because I'm sick as shit. Cheers. So, yeah, why I don't post to YouTube often, if I could speak. Why I don't post to YouTube often. So, as some of you know, I've done a couple videos with Lauren Babick. One of them, the first one, was the Mikasa cover, and shortly after that you'd think, hey, I got a bunch of new subscribers, I got a bunch of people checking my stuff out, I should probably post more content. You'd be right. That's what I should do, but that's not what happened. And some of the topics I'm gonna talk about today get a little serious. Some of them I'm uncomfortable, like, really getting into, so I may make some jokes about it, but trust me when I say that they're actually difficult things for me to talk about. So, yeah, after that video got big, there was definitely a lot of pressure to continue, but that's not ultimately what really stopped me. Shortly after I did that video, I found out that my father had been diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is a type of bone cancer that can be very, very aggressive. And it hit me really hard. I didn't have a good relationship with my dad growing up, and we had just started getting along, and for that to really kick in and find out that, it was a lot for me to handle. I honestly was extremely overwhelmed, and I didn't know how to deal with what I was going through in the slightest. Long story short, for 2 years of taking care of him and working on myself as well too, not nearly as well as I should have, in all honesty, I eventually lost him. Now, I'm gonna go into the nitty-gritty of what happened that night, just so people get a little bit more of an understanding of why I'm the way I am and why I didn't do the things I did. So the night my father passed away, we were at the ER. We'd been there for a little while, my mom, my dad, and I, and there was at one point when he was sitting up because he was having a very difficult time breathing. We called for nurses multiple times, and nurses kept showing up, hitting the call button and leaving, and saying someone would be with us eventually, which they weren't until things got too far. But that's besides the point. All of a sudden, as I was in the process of picking him back up to put him on his hospital bed, he had a massive heart attack in my arms. And at first I thought he was having a seizure because his head kind of just rolled back and his eyes rolled in the back of his head. But it turns out it was a massive heart attack. And after putting him on there and being told to leave the room, I forced myself to watch what happened next. And anyone who's worked in the medical field knows what happens when you do chest compressions. Ribs break, and I heard and saw that, and I honestly haven't been the same since. I forced myself to watch because at the time I thought, if I look away, he's gone. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20, and at the end of the night, when we had left the hospital after he'd passed, the first words out of my mouth were, I shouldn't have forced myself to watch. So that brings me to the next part. I didn't do anything about my mental health for almost a year after he'd passed away. And I got to a point where I started becoming really aggressive, turned into a giant asshole, especially to the people I cared about the most, and burned a lot of bridges, and eventually came with a diagnosis of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, there's a bunch of other stuff in my life that has happened that led down that particular diagnosis, but that's not really important here. Ultimately, what happened was I changed. I wasn't acknowledging how much my dad's death had impacted me, and I completely closed myself off. I cut myself off from my friends, cut myself off from a lot of my family, cut myself off from pretty much everyone, and it honestly got to a point where I was suicidal. I don't want to go too much in depth on that, but long story short, I'm gonna bring someone up here in just a minute to say hi, but I ended up getting myself an emotional support animal, and that was one big thing that turned around my life. Obviously, I started doing therapy, and my therapist has been awesome. She's helped me really come out of my shell, but the biggest thing, the thing I'm so thankful for, is going to the URM Summit in Las Vegas this past November. Now, I don't know if you guys are very familiar with URM or Nail the Mix or anything like that, but it is by far the best community for anyone who wants to be a recording engineer in the hard rock, metal, or regardless of the genre. It is the most warm and welcoming community. And while I was out there, I remember I was talking to Stephen Ward, whom some of you guys may know from Neural DSP, and he asked me, he goes, what's the biggest thing? He's like, what do I want to gain from this the most? That's what he had asked me. And honestly, the biggest thing was I wanted to make friends again. I wanted to be able to actually talk to people. I was so closed off that I literally went to work and I went home. I didn't see my friends. I didn't see my family. I wasn't doing anything. And those guys every single one of them there, and I could start going down a list of names. I'm not going to because it would take far too long, but it was such a welcoming group of people, and I am so thankful that I did that, because they ultimately are what finally brought me out of my shell and have helped me gain confidence again. It's something I'm forever grateful for, and it's opened up a lot of opportunities. And not only that, I made some lifelong friends that I will never ever forget, and I cannot wait to see them all at the 2021 URM Summit. But long story short, now that that's coming past, I am planning on putting up weekly content, whether or not it's a cover, product demo, whether it's something that's given to me, something I've picked up that I really enjoy, maybe even vlogs, who knows. But I do have some cool stuff in the future. In a couple days, you're gonna see that I'm uploading Lauren and I's cover of words. In a few days, you're going to be seeing that I'm uploading Lauren and I's cover of Echo Chamber to my channel as well. She was super cool and is allowing me to upload it there. So I'm hoping that I get a few more subscribers, and I'm looking forward to continuing this journey and posting on here more regularly. Like I said, give me some ideas for what you guys want to see for content, whether it be vlogs, covers, originals, product demos, tutorials, you name it. I'm more than happy to. I've even been thinking, because the biggest thing that I want to do career-wise is I really want to be an audio engineer. And I have some clients here where I am. That's what I'd love to do full time. I was thinking about potentially documenting that journey. If you guys want to check that out, by all means, let me know that that's something that you're interested in. I'm more than happy to post stuff about that. But so there's a little bit of an insight as to why I haven't been posting all that much. Honestly, it took a lot out of me to do it. Even the little things that I posted from when we got the news from my father's cancer to now, it's been very sparing, but I definitely intend to change that. There's going to be weekly content. I don't know what day. I'm thinking maybe Tuesdays or Wednesdays, because right now those are my days off, and that'd be the easiest thing for me. Last but not least, there's a little someone I want to introduce. Oh, let's get in here. World, this is Moon. This is my puppy. She's just so cute. She's never been on camera before. She's never been in front of lights or anything like that. And as you can see, she's a little sleepy right now, but she's normally very, very active. So Moon is my emotional support animal. She's a Shar-Pei Lab and Pit mix. And as you can see, she is just the sweetest thing, just curling up right on me. She's just the sweetest. I love her. And she's done a lot for me, and I think she'll continue to as well. Isn't that right? Well, we're gonna go. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Wait, bye. Bye. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, that whole deal. And hopefully I'll have some theme music and stuff up shortly as well. Thanks, guys.